sports fans, and welcome to the Scout Sports 101 AFC NFC Wildcard Game post-game show. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-22 at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The Cowboys were up 10-6 at halftime. The Seahawks kicked 2 field goals in the first, and the Cowboys kicked a field goal and scored their first touchdown in the first half. Then in the third, the Seahawks scored their first touchdown of the game. Russell Wilson runs to the right end for 4 yards, and the extra point was good, and the Seahawks were up 14-10. The Cowboys scored their second touchdown of the game. Ezekiel Elliott, right guard, took the ball 1 yard into the end zone for the score. The extra point was good, and it was a 17-14 Cowboys lead at the end of the third quarter. And in the fourth, the Seahawks had the ball at their own 25, made 3 plays for 4 yards and went 3 and out and had to punt. The Cowboys had the ball at the Seattle 38, made 2 plays for 27 yards. Then Dak Prescott's pass to deep right, intended for Nate Brown, was intercepted by K.J. Wright at the Seattle 0-yard line, and it was a touchback. The Seahawks had the ball at their own 20 and made 3 plays for 20 yards and went 3 and out, and they had to punt. The Cowboys scored their third touchdown of the game. Dak Prescott up the middle for the 1 yard score of the game, and the extra point was good, and the Cowboys went up 24-14. The Seahawks scored their second touchdown of the game. Russell Wilson passed to short left to J.D. McKissick for the 7-yard score, for the 7-yard yards, and there was hope for the Seahawks as they were down 24-22, but that hope was not going to be what they hoped for. And they also went for a 2-point conversion. That's how they got down 24-22. The 2-point conversion was good. And in the final 2 minutes of the game, Dallas had the ball at their own 32, made 2 plays. Cole Beasley did not try to advance from the Dallas 32 and was stopped for no gain. And for the last 2 plays, and Dallas kneeled for the last 2 plays, and the clock would just run out, and the Cowboys get the win over the Seahawks by the final score, 24-22. The Dallas Cowboys move on in the playoffs, and the Seattle Seahawks season, unfortunately, comes to an end. But it was a great game, though, and the Seahawks, their off season begins as of right now. And I have to give the game balls out, and there are just 3 of them for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 22 of 33 carries and attempts, 226 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ezekiel Elliott, 26 carries, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And Amari Cooper, 7 recoveries, 106 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. And the Cowboys' next opponent will be determined for next week. Either they'll play the LA. Their next appointment is TB to be determined, depending on the outcome of the NFC wildcard game tomorrow between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. And that's one game I can't wait to see. That's going to be an exciting game against between the Eagles and Bears, and I feel that the Eagles are going to have the edge in this game. A lot of people say the Eagles are going to nearly stun the Bears, but I think the Eagles are going to get the win on the road. I really think so. And even though it is at Chicago, at Soldier Field in Chicago, And in the AFC one tomorrow, and a kickoff of that one's at 4:40 on NBC. In the early game, AFC wildcard game, the early game, the LA Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens will square off tomorrow at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And I feel that the Chargers are going to upset the Baltimore Ravens because being that it's Lamar Jackson's first time in the playoffs, I just don't know if it's going to go the Ravens' way. And I just feel that the Ravens are going to have the Chargers, are going to have the edging this game tomorrow and upset the Ravens. So that will be, but the one game that's going to be focused on is the Bears and the Eagles, and that's going to be the determine the Cowboys' next opponent in the NFL playoffs. So we shall see. We'll see what happens tomorrow in those two games, in the two AFC and NFC wildcard games tomorrow. And for tonight, though, I gotta just tell you, Russell Wilson had a good game, and he had. I didn't get a chance to mark his stats down, but he had a great game tonight. But the Seahawks just it was only a 2-point loss, but they had several chances during the course of the game and just could not. There was some they could not capitalize on, but the Cowboys just had, and they just that's why they fell short. And the Cowboys, boy, what a night! And what a night for Ezekiel Elliott. 26 carries and he scored that one touchdown, but there were some plays where they kept Seattle from scoring, and I thought that was great. So it was just a great game a really just awesome game between the Cowboys and Seahawks. Excuse me. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 AFC NFC Wildcard post-game show. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Scott Sports 101 AFC and NFC wildcard pregame show for the Chargers-Ravens game, and then the postgame show immediately following, and then we'll preview the NFC wildcard game, which is the Bears and Eagles. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.